Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and sharing some space with me today. I'm going to keep my intro short and sweet because I have 19 minutes until my camera runs out because I've been recording so much information in this now moment. But what I really wanted to share with you that has really been helpful for me comes from my Pleiadian workbook that was gifted to me by my guides when I was living on the road out of my car. Just walked into a Barnes & Noble and asked for guidance and was guided right to this book, and it has been immensely helpful as a galactic being here on the earth plane. And so if you too find that you can get really up into the ethers and not necessarily feel connected to your body, grounding is one of the best and most vital, important spiritual tools to add to your tool belt, especially as part of spiritual routine and hygiene. I do it every morning, and it is vital and it's necessary. So I'm just going to start reading. Okay, thank you so much for sitting with me. Feel free to close your eyes while you listen, do some work while you listen. I'm just going to read this section out of this book, and then we will close out this video. Nice, short, sweet. So if you want to come back to it, you can. I'll timestamp 111. As the name of this chapter indicates, Preparing for Pleiadian Lightwork, Part 1, Healthy Boundaries, it will prepare you for the Pleiadian lightwork that comprises the rest of this book. Because the Pleiadian lightwork works on subtle energy bodies and clears a lot of old energy blockages, emotions, and other people's energies you have taken on, it is essential that you first learn some basic psychic self-care tools. So let go of any expectations you may have about moving through this workbook section quickly. You may find it helpful to read the processes before actually doing them. It will sometimes be necessary for you to work with a new process for a few days before going on to the next one. And after particularly intense clearings, you may need integration time. The information in this chapter may be familiar to some of you. If so, scan each section until you find parts of it that are new or different from what you have learned before. Compare the processes to your existing ones and see which work best for you. It is important that, by the time you go to the next chapter, you are able to quickly and easily use the techniques in this chapter or their equivalents. 222. Grounding. Grounding is a term used quite frequently in healing and spiritual groups, and yet it means many things to many people. To some of you, it may mean being aware of feeling your feet on the floor, or you may relate it to the way you feel being in nature. Essentially, being grounded means being in your body, conscious of your surroundings, and present and available for whatever happens. The technique used for grounding in this chapter is a visualization that results in bringing your consciousness and spiritual presence more into your body. A lot of spiritual people who meditate regularly, as well as others who have not developed much awareness yet, have not learned grounding and may tend to hang out in the ethers above the body. If you are one of those people, you can be left very susceptible to taking on foreign energy from other people or even entities. At best, even if you are not being a psychic sponge, you cannot move your emotions or karma out of your body very well without first being in your body. The Pleiadian approach to spirituality involves full body, cellular enlightenment and or ascension. In other words, the goal is not to leave your body and transcend the physical. The goal is to transcend your belief in and fear of the limitations of the physical plane. You accomplish this by spiritually descending into matter fully, for the purpose of clearing lower frequency energies such as repressed emotions, belief systems, judgments, control, and other contracted energies that are the source of limitation in the third dimension. As this is done, you may make way for your higher self to completely blend with you, as the Christ, Kuan Yin, and Buddha did. This results in full chakra cellular enlightenment or ascension instead of escape. This spiritual goal requires you to be in your body, and thus there is a need for grounding. The technique used for grounding is as follows. 1. Sit in a comfortable chair with your back relatively straight, your feet on the floor, your feet and hands uncrossed, and your eyes closed. Use your breath to bring as much of your conscious presence to the center of your head as possible. Let go of any stray thoughts inhibiting this process until you feel centered. Now, take a couple of deep breaths. Notice how much of your body expands with your breath. What parts do not expand? Consciously expand more of your body with your breath until you are inhaling as far down your spine as possible without strain or discomfort. Do this 2 to 4 times until you feel more alive and present in your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Use your breath to bring more aliveness into your feet. For men only masculine energy, bring your awareness to your first chakra at the base of your tailbone. Visualize a tube or a spiraling cord of light about 4 to 6 inches thick, attaching itself to your first chakra. Women, or feminine energies, bring your awareness to your second chakra, about halfway between your navel, your belly button, and the base of your spine. Visualize a tube or spiraling cord of light, about 4 to 6 inches in diameter, attaching itself to your second chakra. For both masculine and feminine energy, follow this grounding cord visually and see it extending into earth while your consciousness remains in the center of your head. See the cord move through all the layers of earth until it reaches the center of the planet, where the magnetic core or gravity center is located. You may feel or see the grounding cord simply anchoring and be unable to go any further. Take about half a minute to a minute to breathe gently and feel the changes happening in your body and consciousness. Occasionally, some of my students and private clients have experienced parts of the body aching or throbbing as they ground for the first time. Some have experienced buried emotions coming to the surface. If this happens to you, just be aware that these pains, whether physical or emotional, are probably at least in part why you were not grounded in the first place, since the natural tendency of humans is to avoid unpleasantness of any kind. However, since awareness of a problem is the first step in healing it, allow yourself to explore the feelings with your breath. And curiosity, instead of contracting or pulling away from them. Let go of judgments or fear of feeling, and attempt to assume an attitude of gladness at being made aware of the need for attention in this area of your body or emotions. Keep breathing into your area of discomfort. Usually this will bring ease fairly quickly. If it does not, it could be an indication of a more chronic problem with which you may need assistance in healing, unless you are well versed in dealing with such things yourself. More techniques for working with clearing yourself will be given later in the chapter as well. If you experience no discomfort, you may notice a sense of becoming more present and real. You may feel relaxation and a slight heaviness in your body as you hold the grounding cord in focus for a while. After becoming accustomed to the grounding cord, visualize the color of the grounding cord changing. See a full spectrum of colors and use varying shades and textures of each color. Make it fun. Stay with each color long enough to feel its effects on you. Explore as many colors as you can think of, in addition to the ones named below. Start with blues. Change your grounding cord to pale baby blue, then royal blue, navy blue, teal, and finally cobalt blue. Add a little green to the blue and visualize the cord as deep turquoise, then pale aquamarine. Experiment with greens. Soft baby green, emerald green, forest green, olive green, grass green, and peridot or light yellow green. Next, visualize yellows. Pale soft yellow, bright sunny yellow, golden yellow, and mustard yellow. Then see shades of orange. Pale yellow orange, peach, bright orange like the fruit, salmon, rust orange, and red orange. Visualize reds. Pale pink, carnation pink, hot pink, bright red, blood red, maroon, and red violet. Now see the purples. Lavender, royal purple, grape purple, and blue violet. Then try whites. Pure white, white with sparkles of sunlight, mother of pearl or pearlescent white, and cream. Next see brown tones. Tan, camel, chocolate, caramel brown, tree trunk grayish brown. Do metallic colors last. Metallic silver, metallic gold, copper, platinum, and finally, silver and gold mixed. You'll find that some colors are soothing and calming, while others help you feel stronger and more confident. Some colors help you feel more in your body, while others are extremely unpleasant and ungrounding. Find the ones you like and either write them down along with how they make you feel, or if you have a good memory, make a mental note of them. When you have completed scanning the colors, determine the one you want for now. Remove your original grounding cord by pulling it down and releasing it into earth. Now, give yourself a new grounding cord of the chosen color and send it to the center of earth. Sending it down, sending it down. I like to imagine mine is a spiral, like a corkscrew. It just helps me really ground deeply. And I always imagine it's like an amber colored crystal. I just really resonate with that. And now, open your eyes if you have not already. In the future, if you wake up feeling tired and grumpy, you can use the grounding cord color that helps you feel lighter and more energetic. Or if you're experiencing lack of certainty and confidence in your life, you can use the grounding cord color that gives you more of those positive qualities. Grounding will not solve all your problems or take away every unpleasant emotional state, but it can help you get through them more quickly and easily. Knowing the best color for a given situation can help keep you grounded and able to cope at times you might normally tend to check out. For about a week, begin each morning by removing the old grounding cord and giving yourself a new one. The color may be the same as the previous one or different, based on your current need. As often throughout the day as you think about it, repeat this process. Even if it is 50 times a day at first, and even if it is while walking down the street or doing your work, give yourself a new grounding cord. The more thought energy you put into creating anything, the more real and long-lasting it becomes. You will become so proficient at grounding yourself that you can quickly do it with your eyes open while at work, or while walking or moving in a car. You need not take a lot of time to do it, even if you do it 50 times a day in the beginning. After about a week, you'll be able to ground yourself in the morning and have it last longer. Once a day may be all you need. You'll be familiar enough with the difference in being grounded and ungrounded by then that you will know when you need to replace your old grounding cord with a new one. Through personal experience in teaching many students, I have not found that this 1 week focus on grounding is optional, though some people have a tendency to skip over it. Those who do this 1 week exercise consistently feel more grounded, present, and available for life and healing than those who are less persistent. Those who bypass this step may find that their healing processes take longer, that their emotional disturbances are lengthier in duration, and that their full sensory perception is not as accessible or useful. So, I highly encourage you to follow through until grounding becomes second nature. After doing the full grounding meditation as outlined in the steps, it is unnecessary to repeat the full sequence of colors unless you have a personal reason for doing so. That part of the process is only for the purpose of identifying your best grounding colors. Now it's a little story time, but I don't know if I have enough time on my phone to do it. Let's see. My favorite story about grounding comes from a children's meditation class I taught a few years ago. After taking the young students through the grounding meditation, which was much abbreviated by necessity, I asked each child to tell the group how it felt to be grounded. The first reply was a little boy, 3.5 years old, who said, "It feels like my mommy feels." The next child, also a boy, the same age, responded, It feels kind of like a health food store, like it's good for you. After pausing and wiggling, he added, I don't know if I like it or not. The rest of the children gave their renditions on grounding until we came to the last one, a 7-year-old girl who would not speak. Her head was tucked down as low as she could get it, and she looked as if she might cry. I knew that her parents were going through a separation and preparing for divorce. I also knew that she was having a rough time with this change in her life. I looked away from her and began to explain to the group that sometimes when you ground yourself, you discover that you have feelings inside you that you were unaware of before. I went on to say, sometimes these feelings are loving and warm, as Elizabeth described, but other times these feelings hurt, such as when you feel sadness or anger. The trick is, instead of trying to make them go away, stay with them. Breathe really deeply and try to feel the feelings even more than you already do. Then something really magical happens. After a few minutes of feeling, suddenly the painful feeling will just be gone, and you won't even know when they left. You'll feel better again. But if you don't stay with them and feel them until they go away, they'll just sit there in your body, waiting for you. So it's better to feel them now instead of having to dread them coming back. The sad little girl said nothing. However, about 10 minutes later, while in the middle of a new project, she sat upright and exclaimed, They're gone! Then she sheepishly tucked her head, realizing she had cried out. I asked her what was gone. She answered, The feelings, just like you said. It was very sad, but I did what you told us, and now the feelings are gone, just like you said. Her eyes were full of amazement and even a little awe, like maybe the technique, or even the teacher, did have magic. A few days later, the girl's mother called me to tell me her daughter came home from school looking very upset. When her mother asked her what was happening, the child replied, I'm having feelings, so I'm going to my room to feel them. 20 minutes later, she sprang from her room in play clothes, ready to go outside. When asked what was going on, she told her mom about the class and how she had learned this magic way to get bad feelings to go away and stay gone. That child's innocent willingness was a great example to us all. You need not wait to go on the next step unless it is your preference. There is a natural flow and complementary relationship between grounding and aura clearing, which will be the next one that I do for you. So thank you so much for sitting and creating a grounding cord for yourself, connecting to your grounding cord, creating a personal relationship with your grounding cord. We will be with one another again in my next little chapter reading for aura clearing and for creating your protective shield and blowing roses. So I was very grateful when I first learned about grounding. It has immensely changed my life, and I trust it will be changing yours as well. I trust I'm finding you well, happy, healthy, healed, and grounding as we are currently speaking. And I trust you'll stay open to the signs and synchronicities that await you now throughout the remainder of your now moment, day or night, wherever you are. And as always, until I see you again, I am sending you peace, and I'm sending you love.